Yo guys, welcome back to Jordan Hauser Digital for another Wednesday tutorial. Today we're talking about evoking an emotional response from your audience with your videos. So there are plenty of techniques that you can use throughout the entire creative process to really drive home a point. In pre-production, it could be the script or your content. During production, it could be lighting or the mood that you have on set. Or in post-production or editing, it could be things as simple as color grading, sound effects, the music that you choose, anything like that. So today, I'm gonna use some footage that might look a little familiar, and we're gonna talk about how I tried to really get an emotional response out of my audience. Here we go. All right, guys, here we are inside of Premiere Pro, and we're gonna be using some footage that may look familiar if you watched Monday's video about how to make thumbnails for your YouTube videos. I really wanted to film a skit that was kind of reminiscent of those old school, like depression pharmaceutical commercials that you see late night on TV. So that's what I did. I just went ahead and filmed some like clips of me, looking really bummed out and, not being able to deal with it. So let's talk about how to convey a mood or how to evoke an emotional response out of your audience by adding a few simple things. This is the color that is straight out of the camera. And what I normally do when I edit my footage is I don't like to go in and color correct every single frame or every single clip rather. What I do is I make a general color on an adjustment layer and I stretch it out over most of my clips. It's a lot easier and a lot faster. You save a lot of time doing that. And then any time that I need to make any slight adjustments, like this clip over here on the end, then I go in over here and I'll make my adjustments. Maybe I bring the highlights down or, bring the whites down a little bit just to make sure that the look is pretty consistent throughout. So let's go ahead and take a look at this with no color grading. We've still got our depressing actions that I'm performing, and we've still got our slow motion, but it really doesn't look as depressing as it could possibly be. So let's go ahead and we're gonna turn on our color grade or our LUT. Now you can tell immediately this is way more depressing. We've got those blues, all those blacks and shadows are really dark. We have our highlights that are just highlighting certain parts. And it just looks terribly depressing. And, that's the feeling that I was trying to evoke from my audience. And there are more things that you can do to really convey those feelings. So let's go ahead and we're going to add some music. We're going to add some soft and slow music. So that right there really drives the point home that this is a sad, sad thing. Now, there are other things that we can do on top of that. It's all about building layers. We've got our music in there. We can add a voiceover.
Do you struggle designing YouTube thumbnails? It isn't easy. It's really hard to make eye-catching thumbnails. But there is something you can do.
Hey, we're depressed, but
there is something you can do.
But there is something you can do, all right? And at the very end, I look out the window, up at the light, and it's almost a hopeful type feeling towards the end of this. When all of these elements are put together, you've got a very, very emotional intro and it's something goofy. It really doesn't even mean anything. You know, it was just a kind of like a little skit at the beginning of a video about how to make YouTube thumbnails. Nobody is this depressed about making YouTube thumbnails. This was it was a gag. But imagine if you were doing something that was very, serious and things. You could use these same techniques to really get your point across. So that is how I built a really quick story to give my audience an emotional reaction in like 20 seconds. All right, so there it is. As you can see, getting an emotional response out of your audience really is all about making them see what you want them to see. In that footage, when it was warm and inviting, you might not have felt kind of hopeless, but when I made it dark and I made it blue and cold and lonely, that is really what made that footage shine. And that whole idea, that drove the point home. So you guys can go ahead and implement these techniques into your creative process and your videos to really tie everything together and drive home a point and really convey a feeling to your audience. I'd really appreciate it if you guys went down there and hit that thumbs up button. And if you hit the subscribe button, just know that every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we're gonna continue to really learn techniques to make our videos better. We'll see you later.